Get through that, you find the only kind of respect that matters in this damn world. Self-respect.
There's been a lot going on YouTube in the last few days. And again, I normally don't talk about these individuals. And I certainly don't normally call them by name. But today I will. There are some dangerous things that's going on. Keep holding 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 on. Precious memories. How they linger. How they ever Damn, he always calling me.
Keep holding on. Keep holding on. Keep holding on. Keep holding on. Keep holding on.
Okay, let me take my screen down so I can get back to myself. And you guys can see who I am. Hello, everybody. I want to just say thank everybody for joining me. I tell you, I be preparing for these shows and I be ready. But do you know that every time you always seem to get nervous when it's time to jump off the show? I don't know what that is, but it is true. I need to put some respect on a Cash App that I received. And then I want to do my roll call, and I want to welcome everybody. Sometimes the way I welcome people is misunderstood, but I really, truly am happy to see anybody that joined me, especially if I know you from other chats and seen you before. It really touches my heart when you come and pay me any attention. So I thank you for that. I want to say salute Kalani Management, Wilma Flagstaff, Tanya G, my niece, A. Powers, Trinity T. Awareness, salute. Riding Dirty. I hope you're enjoying your journal and your coffee mug. Thank you for supporting me. Cookies World. Cookie puts up numbers. If you go and look at her community board and the numbers she put up, she's not a fortune teller. She doesn't read the future. She doesn't predict things. She doesn't know how the numbers going to affect you as an individual. She just put the numbers out there, and however they apply to you, they apply to you. And when she put up the numbers for Scorpio, it was a perfect fit for me. 10, 10, 6, 2. Well, my birthday is 10/26. So like I told her, when I did the 10/10 and then the 2/6, which makes that 28, and when you do that 28 and then the 2 10s, take that 2, and that makes it 30. So for me, it was a perfect 30. And I'm always into the 30 because of the Trinity. And the Trinity for me is the Mother, the Father, and the child. That for me is the Trinity. So that meant a lot to me. And I'm grateful. So, regardless of what you believe, it's up to you. But when you start knowing some things and when you start manifesting some things, and that's one thing that she's been teaching me, manifestation instead of doubting, because it is written, so a man thinketh, so is he. So we have to think better thoughts and make things happen in our lives. OG Spears, salute. Okay, OG want to know, he's been asking, are they giving away giveaways? And the giveaways I gave away, I've already given them away. And the giveaways I gave away was a massage to one man and one woman. And I've given them away. And they are worth $75. We were not giving away gas giveaways. I don't know if anybody is giving away gas giveaways, but I know that Mr. Skinny give away cash. So if you're a member of his YouTube, then he does give away, and he gives away cash. And then even sometimes the people that win give away the cash to the people that don't. So you might want to try that, but I don't know about anybody else that's doing any giveaways. Longhead, my nephew, salute. Maria S., my niece, salute. I just want to make sure I touch on everybody. The Dark Goodness. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Goddess. My eyes. Help me now. Help me. Let's say Dark Goddess, salute Dark Goddess. Sebastian Shaw, salute. Clean Black Sneakers, salute. Prime Time, salute. Ryder Prophet, salute. Kiana Teal, salute. I salute all of you guys. I try to bring something different because we as a people are very confused and we don't know who we are. And so we go through a lot of things and we wonder, why is it that it always happened to us? Well, I went on a journey 9 years ago and I started trying to find out who were we before we were slaves. And that's why I came to YouTube, to share my journey with everyone. Don Holland, salute. I didn't come on here for any other reason, but I found myself in the throes of a horrible beef. Milwaukee Deep, salute. I hate the beef that's going on, but I don't control it. I try to not to participate in it. Oftentimes my name is thrown in the middle and I have to say something just to defend who I am as a person, because we all don't know each other. And we love to see each other in the chats and we communicate one with another, but we don't know our idioms and our personalities and, you know, the way we are in our everyday life. But we try to portray that person as we communicate with one another here on YouTube. And so what I like to do is tell you about a story that I found out about last week, and I spoke on it a little bit last week. And this is a story about a young man named Corey, and he's called CJ. His name is Corey Proctor, and his mom is Miss Ann Proctor. And she did an interview about 11 months ago. Of course, I didn't know anything about it because I wasn't looking at that section of YouTube. But the young man who did the interview did an excellent interview. And she was telling the story of her son who was murdered, she believed, by a particular person. And that it was because of, they have a code in Georgia, and it's the Title 24, Section 5. And it's called privilege, and it falls under evidence. And so it's privileged communications. And what happened is no one knows at this point if that person is guilty or innocent, because we're all presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But the person is the accused. And they had a lot of information that they had in reference to this because the person's wife was willing to testify against her spouse. But I guess their attorney went to the law and seen that she didn't have to do that. Therefore, this person was able to make bond and was able to be free. So this lady is hurting from the bottom of her heart. As a mother, I feel her. I have one son and I gave birth to, and then I brought my niece home from the hospital that I consider my daughter by blood. And she's just my niece, my great niece, Regina M. Peace. So I don't know the ins and outs of the story. I only know what's been told to the mother by what she shared with me and what's been told to the public. We do know that the public can be misunderstood. I'm not going to say the public can be misunderstood, but a story told to the public could be misunderstood. And then we see here on YouTube how you're accused, tried, and convicted by the court of public opinion and even the court of YouTube, because now they have courts on YouTube, which is absolutely asinine to me. But if people want to subject themselves to that, then I have no problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is real life. And we have a lot of pain in our community. We say we want the gun violence to stop. We say that we want murderers to stop, and we want killings to stop. And we say that we want gun rights. Well, the right that we need is to have the right to have the gun. What we don't need to do is just use the gun as if we're in the Wild Wild West. Oftentimes when people are murdered, it is by somebody that they know. That's what history has shown us, not me. I'm not a detective. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a mother. And I do know that we were always on a matriarchal system before 325, when Constantine put us on the path to patriarchy. So what I would say is, mothers, we have the power to change everything in life. We have the power to shake this world back into the way it should be. Not the power to overtake, a man, because we don't have the strength to overtake a man. But a man came through us. And today I'm wearing my t-shirt, Healing the Womb Man Inside. And that womb man, if you look at this necklace, that's an ankh. And my hands never go right. But that's an ankh. And that's the true cross. That is the fallopian tubes here and there. That is the uterus. And this is the birth canal going down where the baby comes out. We are the givers of life, and we can help turn this thing around if we get back in our proper places. We have a system that's working against us. I will send to anybody who requests the book, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, because it's the system. It is not individuality. We have a metaphysical body that we're not aware of as individuals because they didn't teach us metaphysics in school. Salute As, and salute Zeb Okonjo Brown. Salute Phyllis. Salute. So we have a metaphysical body. That's the body that we feel when we go in the essence of who we are and we say that the energy is not right. Well, that's our metaphysical selves. And you can tell bad energy from good energy. You can even feel energy through the computer. You can feel energy anywhere if you interact with another human being. But there are frequencies, and we know about frequencies because we know about I don't know them in detail, but we know about the kilowatts. Tanae, salute, the kilohertz and all of that good stuff that we hear in the musicality. We know about the drums and the sounds that vibrate from the drums. We know about these things, but we don't really know how they affect us as individuals. And so that's kind of what I got on here to share with people. But I've met some beautiful people along the way. And then when I heard this lady's story, my heart broke for her because I don't know what it's like in her position as losing a son. But I'm going to tell y'all a story. Andre Williams, salute. OD, salute. Boss Cap, salute. I love you guys, and I love it when we interact in the chats. I do. I really do. This happened to my oldest brother. And my oldest brother was legally blind. He went to the Air Force, and he was there just long enough for them to dismiss him on an honorable discharge, but he could not get the medical benefits because they dismissed him a day before the time was up for him to qualify for the medical benefits. And the problem that he had, he came to the Air Force with that problem, but we never knew it. And that problem was retinitis pigmentosa. Now, you can look that up because Google will tell you anything. But he was what they consider legally blind. And when you're legally blind, you see figures, but you don't see details. And you can't see peripherally, and you can't see so many feet ahead of you. And so my brother to us was a regular big brother. My brother used to drive, but we know he used to run over the curbs and shit, but we just thought he was just trying to be funny and shit, but he really couldn't see. Salute. Let me pay respect to the Cash App. Could not see. So we just used to think he was just being mean and ornery. Salute. Ben Tick 614. Salute. Glad you're here. And I promise when I tell y'all I'm glad you're here, I really am glad you're here. So I hope I don't offend anybody because that's the least that I want to do. My tone sometimes and words I choose, people are offended, but it is never my intent to hurt anybody or to offend anybody. So if it seems like I'm going on and on about you, it's because I really am excited about you, and I want you to know that. And anyone that knows me can attest to that. But my brother, he used to do regular things, you know, he played football and all that stuff, believe it or not. And my brother, before he passed, he could play dominoes, spades, bowl, tennis, and people really would be in awe because they knew he was legally blind. We called him blind. You know, in the hood, I don't give a damn what's wrong with you. We gonna come up with a nickname for your ass. You know, if you got big lips, we gonna call you lips. You know, your ears big, you might get called ears. You know, your eyes, you line to get called bug eye. But in the hood, you're gonna have a name. And that's just what that is. Your feet big, or if your bunions stick out, you're gonna be called bunion. If you're fat, they gonna call you fats. You know, if you're skinny, they might call you skinny, or they might call you fat. You know, the opposite. You know, that's just what we do. And that's why I guess I ended up here in the entertainment section, as well as educational, because that's what this is for me, entertainment and education. So, you know, we used to do those kind of things at home, and I came from a family of 8. And so I was the baby girl. So I didn't really get the brunt of the jokes and stuff like that. I just got to kind of hear them all and laugh at them all. They kind of, you know, gave me a little reprieve. But that's really just how it goes. And so my brother used to go out, and he was out one night at a club in what we call East Dallas. And someone called about a police officer. Salute. Let me put some respect on the Cash App. And you know, I've grappled with the Cash App, calling the names, telling the amount, but with all the things that's going on YouTube right now, I'm glad I made the decision not to do that. I will just put respect on it, and I honor you that gave to me, because you didn't have to do that, and I thank you. You know, I see people bidding and going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and that's beautiful for them, because we all are entrepreneurs. That does not, in my opinion, make them bad people or good people. They just entrepreneurs. And if their wittiness and creativeness is better than mine, certainly I can't get angry at anyone who can come up with a way to make their living, because most people out here are out here making their living. For me, this is something that I would do for free. But like I always say, I really do appreciate, love, need, and want the Cash Apps like everybody else. But if I never get a dime, I would still want for you all to have the knowledge that I have, because I can only keep what I have by giving it away. And that's what I try to do. But certainly I can't get angry at anybody, because I don't know your financial situation. And certainly mine is not the greatest. I live on retirement and disability income, and I'm now over 62, so it's just retirement income for me. So it's a big difference in what I used to make 12 years ago, but I have a decent life, and I would not trade it for anything. If I had all the money in the world, I would do nothing but give it away. So I'm grateful for everybody that helps me, because it puts back into my material, or I pay a credit card where I don't charge $500 worth of books, because that's the kind of stuff I spend money on: books, reading, and always trying to advocate for somebody. I do that because I had to fight my whole life on jobs, and that's what I do. I help people when they have problems. I'm not an attorney. Let me put some respect on it. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice, but I can certainly tell you what you can do if you want to look for yourself. Because what we don't understand as a Moorish American is, which I say I am a Moor American. There's no such thing as ish, but I am a Moor American, because we're organic to the land, indigenous. We are the original people all over the world, not just here. And a lot of people think that because they have us divided as races, that there is a such thing as racism. There is no such thing as racism by anyone that looks like me, or anyone that is not European. Why? Because we don't have the power to affect other people's lives. Racism is systemic. It is in the system that keeps you from eating. It keeps you from getting medical care. It keeps you from getting a job. See, I can get mad at any European in the world, and it don't mean shit. I'm just mad. But one with power can get mad at me and it can change my whole life. I could be gone in an instant. So we need to quit throwing words around loosely just because we can use the word. We need to learn the words. Because one thing about the system, they know when you don't know by the language in which you speak. And we think we're really doing some hell of a speaking, especially when we go and get degrees. But I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, you just know that subject very well. I bet you it's a lot of things you still don't know about finance. I bet you it's a lot of things you don't know about linguistics. I bet you don't know the difference between the jurisprudence, which is the science of law, and the color of law, which is what we get every day. And one thing our European brothers and sisters are finding out is that they're no different than the nigger, because they too are niggers in this system. And they're closer to a nigger than we'll ever be. As I told you before, look up the troglodyte nigger. It is not us. It is not us. We are Asiatic. And the reason we're Asiatic is because that's the landmass. And what they've done is separate the people from the land. So when you talk jurisdiction, which most of us know nothing about, when you talk jurisdiction, you're thinking you're talking about a certain place or space, but it's political status. And civilly, if you consider yourself Negro, Black, Colored, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, Indian, any of that, African American, you're considered civilly dead in the eyes of the law. You're considered dead. So unless you start learning, and you're not going to learn it all. It's too much for us to learn it all. But what you want to learn is the things you need to know to help you navigate through your daily lives. You know, back to my brother in the situation. So he was at a club one night with some friends. And so they said that a policeman was shot that night. And that policeman was shot supposedly by a big, tall young man who was about 6'3" and weighed almost 300 pounds. My brother was about 5'8", 5'9", and he was not nowhere near 300 pounds, not anywhere near 280 pounds. And then it was at night, so he could not see. And they picked my brother out of a lineup. And my brother was actually in jail for a very long time for killing a police officer. Killing a police officer. You know, back then, which was in the late 60s, that was automatic death. There was a death penalty case when you killed a police officer back then. And my brother was there a long time. We had land. My dad had land in his family, and they sold the land to help my brother. My dad they had so much land, he sold the land to help his brother, who was in prison and kept going back to prison. But my brother didn't kill anybody. Number one, he couldn't see. Number two, he wasn't even the person. He didn't even fit the description of the person. But it did not matter. And then number two, while he was locked up, the wife that he had got pregnant by somebody else. If you think that ain't fucked up, it is. And when he came home, he accepted the child wholeheartedly because he's a man and he probably knew what he was doing. I don't know. But he did, and we accepted the child as our niece. But as time went on, and time went on, and time went on, and my daddy's attorneys fought and fought, my brother was no-billed, meaning that it was wiped away, never to be brought up again because he didn't do it, and they caught the actual killer. They had nothing to tie my brother to the case other than he was a black man out there that they decided to choose to be the one who did it. And that was a frightening time in our lives. I was a little girl, and so that was the first time that my uncle had gone to prison, but I didn't know my uncle because he'd been in prison all my life up until before I graduated high school. So I didn't know anything about prison or prisoners back in that time. But with my brother, that was the first real experience that we had of someone going to jail or going to prison or being accused of a crime. And then the crime that he was accused of was one of the most heinous because it was killing a police officer. And then, we all believe that the police are here to protect and serve. But they're here to protect and serve, but not us. The police are here to come when there's a problem. And that's why when things happen and you try to call the police and you try to tell the police, please help me. They're doing this to me and they're doing that to me. And they say, well, ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't help you, sir. Until they do something to you, it's nothing I can do. They come after the crime has been committed. If they come before then you may be the one that's dead. And you call them for help. It has happened to us time and time again. And if you look at the Casual Killing Act of 1669, it'll kind of let you know why that happens. Because the Casual Killing Act says that you have a right to get rid of your slave if your slave disobey. So if you ever hear them, when they're getting ready to do something to somebody, they would always say, stop resisting. Stop resisting. Now they all on the damn ground, tied down, handcuffed, hog-tied, and ain't shit they can do but submit. But they'll holler, stop resisting, boom. And then we get this elaborate story of how it's supposed to happen until somebody just happened to come up with a camera. And then with that camera, it tells the story. And then all the police reports change. Isn't it funny how they never go down for lying under oath on the police reports? Well, I hope you know that the Supreme Court gave them qualified immunity. It's not constitutional. The Supreme Court doesn't make laws. Congress does. But the Supreme Court came up with that. Research it. I did. Michael Ben, salute. I'm glad you're here. So we have so many things against us. And, we all like to say, well, they just, I don't know. They treat us how we ask to be treated. We don't want to know who we are. Because if we knew who we were, then we'd have to give them back. As is written, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. You would have to give them back their religion. The true study of religion is the study of nature and how the constitution of man harmonizes with nature. The womb, the matrix, is the earth. That's why you call it Mother Nature. Time, we call Father Time. There is no one waiting to come rescue you. And remember, if they do come rescue you, you got to die here first. Then you got to wait for however long it takes, because I think it's people been waiting over 2,000 years to come be rescued, but they're still waiting. I don't know. That's just what I think, but you can think what you like. I too was once a born again Christian, and I told that story. I believe I saved more people than Jesus. And every time I do a show, I lose people because maybe I say something that offend them and it's not my intention. But truth, I didn't name it. And I'm not afraid to tell it. I've lost very close friends behind truth. But one thing my daddy taught me is the truth to get you killed just as quick as a lie. So sometimes you got to tell a lie. That's between you and what lives inside of you. The only thing I know as far as a creator goes is my mother, because that's the only thing I've ever seen create something was a woman. I've seen women give birth. I gave birth, but unfortunately I didn't get to see it. I was in so much pain, I told them to put me to sleep. So I know I went to sleep pregnant. When I woke up, a little boy, they were handing me and said he was mine. And I loved him. From the time I found out that I had conceived him, I loved him. And I love him even more this day because he is a man to be proud of. And I am very. Mrs. Magi, my niece, I love you. I'm glad you could make it. I know you be tired sometime and be going to sleep on me, but you always catch that playback and you always give me love. So I love you for that. Regina M said, I need some cliff notes when listening to our Toothless Tigers just to carry on and refer back to and from. Oh, man, I tell you. So my brother was no-billed, and that passed us, never to happen again. But unfortunately, Miss Ann, her story is not going to end that way. We don't know how it's going to end because right now, she feels that justice has not been served. Because the individual that is accused of killing her son, this individual, the wife, gave testimony and evidence. And when I say testimony, I don't mean in a court of law because they never made it to the court of law. I'm talking about to the detectives. She gave statement. She gave evidence. And she was willing to testify. But from whatever happened from the time she did that until they got an attorney that, you know, knows the rules. See, a lot of us, we get so caught up in righting wrong at the wrong fucking time. Because in a courtroom, what I found, just from my observation, this is my observation. My observation. No truth, my observation, but it's my truth. Two things are never getting in the courtroom when you're being presented by somebody else, and they call that represented. When you're represented by an attorney, you're turning over your personal jurisdiction to that attorney, which is in fact the system of maritime and admiralty. See, they took us off the land and put us on the sea. The sea, the water, maritime law has nothing to do with us. But those are our courtrooms. The truth will never get in there. And the law that works for you will never get in there. Miss Ann Proctor has joined us, everybody. Thank you, Miss Proctor. It is my honor to make sure your baby's story get out. And I just hope I don't start crying. But, you know, it's just unfortunate that nobody will listen to you and your story. She's not asking for vigilantism. She's not asking for any of that. She's only asking for justice. And then we say in this place, justice. We seek justice. We want justice. I want y'all to go in the descriptions and look at the videos that I put in the description so you can see people in there crying for justice. I don't know if they're crying for justice in this case, but they're crying for justice, for the killings of our sons to stop, for the shootings to stop. Real Chase Bank, salute, my nephew. I have so many beautiful nephews and nieces, and I just want y'all to know, I thank y'all. I thank y'all very much. Because I have some real beautiful nieces and nephews in real life. I really do. I don't have many. My mom had 8 kids, and most of us only had 1 or 2. But justice for CJ is what we need. Y'all, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank y'all. I'm sorry. I love you too, Chase. I really do. If y'all learn anything about me, when I say I love you, I love you. And I tell all the people I love, there's nothing in the world you can do to make me stop loving you. You can make me stop fucking with you, but you can't make me stop loving you. And know this, nobody can fuck it up with you, with me, but you. Nobody. I don't give a damn what they say, what they think, what they know. They can tell me and I'll listen, but nobody. I really look at people on their merit and how they interact with me. And that's the way I live my life. A lot of people say, these people ain't my friends. Well, damn, they say they Christian, they love the Lord, they believe in the word, and the word said in order to have a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. But let everybody tell it ain't nobody they goddamn friend. Anybody I meet is my friend until they prove themselves otherwise. And once you betray my trust, Because where the moon and the sun and the stars were when I was born. I'm a Scorpio. October 26th, 9 p.m. We're deep people. I'm very deep. Very dramatic, very emotional, over the damn top. A couple of people on YouTube got me beat. I look at them and they tickle the shit out of me. But I'm just as animated. But I really do care about people. And when I come, normally death comes. And that don't mean death of a human life. It means death of the bullshit that goes with human life. Because I tolerate none. Some people think I'm mean because the way I sound. My son he lied and told me I was mean when he was growing up. No, I wasn't. I wasn't mean. But I'm very firm. Very firm. I try to be fair as they come. Mostly all the children love me. My room is the cussing room. They can come in here and say whatever the fuck they want to say. I don't give a damn. They can come in here and cuss. Why? Because I know they do that shit when they're in school. And what I used to teach my son is I never want nobody to use nothing over your head. Because I knew he was afraid of his mother. That they would have you doing something for them. Because they threatening you saying they're going to tell your mama. So your mama give you permission to be you. Now, I don't want you out in the street screaming, telling me, hey, ho, what up, bitch? I don't want you doing that because you got a mama. You got a little sister, which is my niece. You got cousins. You got a grandmama, 2 of them, and aunties that you love dearly. So I don't want you doing it out loud. But when you with your homeboys, you say what the fuck you want to. And my son was 23 before he ever cussed in front of me. But I would go and sometimes stand outside his door. He didn't know it, though. Y'all, I'd be laughing like a motherfucker. I laughed real loud, but I had to hold it in so bad because he'd be playing games like y'all be playing them games. And him and his friends, and they be cussing like all that shit used to tickle me so bad. And I would just be standing there listening because we kept our doors closed. I sleep better with my door closed. So we kept our doors closed, and he had permission to keep his closed. As long as they wasn't locked, we cool. And they were not. And he had his own phone since he was 10, so he would be on the phone with his friends, and they be cussing their ass out playing them games. But it was so funny to me. But he waited until he was 23 before he actually said a real cuss word. He would tell me stories, and he would call it like, and they said the F. What the fuck is the F word? I don't want to hear no F word. I want to hear what the people say because I like the story. And so he would have to tell me the words. But I said I would say I have these memories of my son. He's 41. And I have a relationship with him. And Mrs. Proctor will never get that because her baby will be forever 22. He was lured to his death. And he was brutally murdered. I don't know the details, but she shared some stuff with me. I reached out to her because OD was beautiful enough to make that song for me. And I want y'all to know that song, that video that you see at the beginning, and I will play it again at the end, Keep Holding On. OD did make that into a song that's on Spotify, that's on iTunes, that's on different places where you can actually go buy it. Anytime you stream it, he gets credit for it. And guess what he did for me? He gave me credit, too, for my voice. I had no idea that was going to happen. No idea. I sing all the fucking time. Can't even hold a note. But I love singing, and that's my favorite song, Precious Memories. And I love the way Tremaine Hawkins sings it. And so that's the way I try to sing it. And he took that song and made it meaningful, not only to me, but for Mrs. Proctor, because what he did was he took it and he put her baby's protests where they're trying to change the laws in their state. And we all need to look at that in our individual states. How do things happen? They don't happen by marching down the street. They happen by writing your legislators. Because the legislators of your state are the individuals who make the rules that's used against us. Salute, Mr. Skinny. They make the rules that's used against us. So all the marching up and down the street, you could do that shit until you can't march no more. It's not going to change a thing. Although everything has its place, because the Constitution gives us the right to peacefully assemble. We can do that. But the pen is more powerful than the sword and even the bullet. The pen is more powerful. We would use it if we would use it. You know, these people run around here talking about we the people, we the people. Now all of a sudden, they're not we the people anymore because that's the Constitution. Well, all of them lying because it's not the Constitution. They listened to my show and heard me tell them that it is the preamble to the Constitution. The whole document by itself. So one day they're going to get it while they're listening. And I'm not against anybody, but people turned on me because I made a decision to speak on two different men who I believed were friends, and one betrayed the other. And both of them went too fucking far, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But the betrayal is what got me. And then people say I'm crazy and I'm stupid and I don't have no sense because I could see that. Well, I'm all of that. At least that's what the system say. I think they say that about the smartest of us, the finest of us. They don't give a damn what school you went to and where your paper come from. We had a president, Barack Hussein Obama, Harvard, constitutionally sound attorney. And they said he wasn't shit. He wasn't even born in America. So how do I expect for anybody to say that I'm something? But when I started on this path, I went down to let you know we're all human. We're all human. It's hegemony that they use against us, not race. The race is something you can see. So I can get mad at you because you got blue eyes. And you can get mad at me because mine brown. But we're all bleeding red. Anytime we bleed. We all have to go to the outhouse or the toilet or wherever you go anytime you let food out. We all cry when injustice is done. We all cry. I want to welcome So I Beloved, my beautiful niece, Miss Thompson. Good to see you. And truly, I mean good to see you because I hadn't seen you in a while, so I'm happy to see you. Alicia, I hope I don't know, Allison. Maybe it's Allison. Okay, Alice, I got you. You slick. That's beautiful. Allison Cooper, salute. Welcome. But the only thing I'm saying is we got to do better as a people. We say we want the system to treat us right, and then we get on the YouTube, and hell, we don't even have freedom of speech or freedom of movement. We have 2 or 3 people that's controlling everything we say, do, think, and feel. And everybody say they don't want to be a part of the craziness, but they steady making videos every other 5 minutes. And like I said, make your money, because I ain't against nobody making their money. This is entertainment, and it was funny. Salute. Let me put some respect. But when people talking about going to different chats and taking names of people in the chat and telling what the people are giving, and now there is this new thing coming out where they're saying that there was some kind of racketeering ring where they was paying to talk in chats, where they were blocking people and paying to chat. And, you know, the slander and the defamation is really unbelievable. And I think these people think because, you know, we're not people that have a lot of money. And I don't even say that you use money. Use your knowledge. Start reading. It is not hard when you know what you're doing to maneuver in a courtroom. But you got to know what you're doing. You can't just go in there just saying anything. But that's what they're accusing us of. And they're calling us the skinny gang. And of course, I've already made it known that we're not a gang. At least I'm not no gang. I ain't in no gang. I don't know no gang members. I don't know no gang leaders, but I'm going to say gang as long as I want to, because Skinny called his shit Skinny Gang. I'm not involved in no racketeering. I'm not influencing anybody. I'm not corrupt. And I'm certainly not in an organization that participates in that kind of activity. Everybody gets money the way they get money on YouTube. And y'all, it's not just happening in our community. So just know that it's not just us. Sim said, salute. It's not just us. It was a young man just a couple of days ago. I seen it. Google it. Hi, Tracy J. I seen it. Was just killed a couple of days ago in Annapolis, wherever Annapolis is. Somebody knows. But he was sitting on his mother's porch. He was Facebooking live. So this happened on Facebook. And he was talking shit and got into it with two guys. And of course, they did the famous pull up. Well, these two guys pulled up. And he's on live saying, well, look like we got some action. And that's all you heard, because after that, it was 30 shots. Now, the people that was watching that heard the 30 shots, but they took it off. And on the news, you still get to hear 5 to 10 rounds going off. But they shot him graveyard dead in the middle of the day. Two guys. For something that was said on Facebook. And the stuff these people are saying and doing at the behest of one man who's saying somebody's gonna lose their job. Somebody's gonna lose their job. And then saying that he has people that can dox everybody. They can go and find everything about you. Well, you know, I thought about that, and that sounds real good. And maybe these people can go find everything there is about you. But I thought about something a little deeper than that. There was a time when that person had all of us sending him information about small businesses. We gave him everything about us. They already had our information because we were so eager for people to put out our business. We were so eager for people to represent us. We were so eager that this NBA player was really there for us. We sent them our addresses, our phone numbers, our businesses, our email addresses. So they didn't have to look far. Those of us who participated in the small business, we did that to ourselves. And that's what we do. But I was looking at former Nancy. She celebrated her birthday, I believe a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday it was. And she went to the Navy. And she said one thing that the Navy stands for. And I never knew this. And I'm sure this is the acronym that they gave it, or maybe this is really what it stands for. But I want y'all to hear it so y'all understand. A lot of things we do, we volunteer. But they tell us it's the law. And we don't know that it's not the law. So we volunteer for a lot of things. It's just like these people here on YouTube that's bullying us and telling us where we can go. And if you should happen to go in any one of them chat, you get attacked by the people in the chat. Or someone will go and make a video about you and talk about you to no end. I don't have a problem with any of that because I'm not responding. But I do know it's a lot of guys that have allegiance to this NBA player. And I think, to me, it's just in my own personal observation, because I observe a lot. He made a video last year and he said that he was molested. And he said that. And you can go find it. I think I put it in my last video, but you can go find it. It's there. And I think a lot of guys can't talk about that type of experience. So they resonate with him. And we think it's only because of his NBA status. Because everybody keeps hollering they love his message, his message, his message. And then you ask them, what is the message? And they can't tell you a message. And if you tell them what you think the message is, then they'll tell you, no, that ain't his message. He came on here doing this, and he came on there doing. So what is the message that you resonate with? And see, one reason they didn't like Uncle Suge, and I said this the other night in a guy's chat, and then one of his moderators was telling me, don't change the narrative. And that narrative shit, there's no word that we use on an everyday basis. Now everybody on YouTube holler narrative. Not that I don't know the word nor the definition, but that ain't no shit we use in our everyday vernacular. Go back 4 years ago, you wasn't saying, what's the end game? You telling the goddamn lie if you tell me you was, because you wasn't. You wasn't running around here talking about the narrative and what's the end game. But now all of a sudden, that's all you hear people saying. That shit is so nerve-wracking to me, it is unbelievable. And I don't want to be in anybody's beef. And I'm not going to be in anybody's beef, but no one will stop me from talking. You know, I stand a greater chance for the system to kill my ass, but it's crazies out here who's really got an allegiance to this man. So I think about that young man who thought he was just bullshitting because he was in the entertainment section. He's a comedian. He was being funny, but he got killed, graveyard dead. Thank you, Miss Proctor. Thank you. And Mrs. Proctor, everybody, send her healing vibrations. She's healing right now. Uncle Suge, we love you. Salute. She's healing right now. Send her healing vibrations. But one day, when she feels better, she's going to interview with us because we're the only ones that's putting her story out. The news would not touch this story. Somebody got the key to the city. Wonder, could that have anything to do with it? Maybe not. I don't know, but I'm just a person that thinks. Judge Judy say if it don't make sense, it ain't true. But what if that shit makes sense? What if it makes sense? I ain't accusing nobody of nothing because I know you're presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, not the court of public opinion. But I'm going to do a little reading for you guys, and I can't hardly see this screen, but I'm going to do my best. I normally be off camera when I read, so y'all don't have to see how I look when I mess up something. Now I got to figure out how to bring my thing down. Here it is right here. I got it, y'all. I told y'all I'm learning. My brother told me I would do real good if I have all my stuff together, and I am getting better. But, you know, like I told y'all, I hate the computer. I really don't know nothing but how to type a letter. That's all I really know how to do and how to look up shit. And I've learned some stuff on this YouTube that now I feel like I'm damn near an editor and a producer, and I can't edit nothing. But I did learn a little bit. The things that have happened to Soup and Gotti and Brown Skin Lady and anybody else that's been doxxed, Krista Free, the things that happened to Uncle Suge and his parents, it's unforgivable. And anybody that chooses to forgive, that's your choice. It's not a mandate. They taught us to forgive because they know what they did to us. So we forgive and you keep doing the same shit. And we forgive and you keep doing the same shit. And we forgive and you keep doing the same shit. Our children are dying daily. This what happened to Mrs. Proctor. It didn't just happen to she and CJ's father. Because he has a father. And see, Miss Proctor is a European. Okay? But his father is Asiatic. And so just remember, one drop of blood from an Asiatic makes you, in their eyes, a nigga. Asiatic. Why? Because we have the dominant gene. The dominant gene. They want to know who we are. So they come up with illnesses. And they put patents on them. And then they tell us they're going to treat us. It's not that simple, y'all. And everybody's running around mad at each other. Who did this and who did that? Why you didn't take it? Why you take it? It's not that simple. We got to start reading. We can't keep on talking about who wrote the books. We wrote the goddamn books. They took the credit for it. You know that just by the shit you done came up with on your job. So I don't know why people act like that's so damn hard to believe.
You come up with an idea on your job and you share it, and then they tell you and have you sign a non-disclosure and tell you you got to give your intellectual property to them, and they take the credit. It's done every day. It happened to Miss Stewart, who wrote The Matrix and The Terminator. They stole her idea. Miss Proctor said, I am new to YouTube and really don't know how to work it, but I thank everyone for all the kind words. She has a Facebook page, and anybody can go join it if you're seeking justice for CJ, because that's what this is all about. That's what I'm going to be talking about. The only thing I can tell any of us, because we're throughout the different 50 states, we can write to the sheriff department. We can write to the DA's office. We can write to the governor. We can write to the archbishop of that area. We can write to the legislators. We can write to them. We can write to those Lord people that's on the city level to let them know that we want justice and they better do something. We can write to the legislatures on the state level because they change laws. There's not much else we can do. And nothing will bring her baby back. But it's a horrible thing to be looking at YouTube and see a man who you believe to be the one that did what happened to her son, laugh and say how the people lied on them. And it's funny. And it's a joke. The laughter is different when it's you. And we see that here just on YouTube. As long as they're not talking about you and doxing you and making jokes about you, then it doesn't bother you. It's not until it's you that they call whatever they call you or do whatever they do to you. Then you want everybody to listen and you want everybody to fight. Well, I don't need everybody to fight for me. I'm a fighter because I had to be. I didn't have no choice. And I fight with truth. And don't nobody give a damn about the truth but me. But it's 5 principles I stand on. And that's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I stand on that. And anything that goes in between. Honor, integrity. And yeah, I hurt people's feelings unintentional. Because if I intentionally hurt your feelings, you'll know it. But sometimes the way I sound, the way I look, and the shit I say, I have to ask you to forgive me for that, because shit, that wasn't my intention. And then they say, well, if you do that, don't you think I'm doing and being the best me that I can be? I can't be the best me for you. I can only be the best me that I can be. And so if you bring something to my attention, I'm damn sure going to do my best to try to make it right. And if it means going separate ways, so be it. You go your way and I go mine. Because the common law, the law that we all supposed to be living by, and this is Toolbox Evolution, salute. Cassie B, salute. The law we supposed to be living by is if I don't harm you and you don't harm me, no harm is done. That's the law of the land. We are the people of the land who are caught in a feudal system. And that's why I say, o'er the land and of the fee. It's a fee, y'all, not free. And the home of the slave. We're still treated like slaves, not brave. So we need to remember that. And who can free us but us? Nobody is going to come save you. You got to save yourself. Salute, Flip Phone. I'm glad you're here. As say, I 100% give a fuck about the truth. Even if it's about me and even if I don't want to hear it and the moment. I only have real people around me. Catch me out of character, let me know. And that's the truth, as that's why I used to tell my oldest sister, because she say I sound like I'm fussing all the time. And when she be telling us the truth, because my oldest sister was like our second mom. My mom worked 2 jobs. And I would always tell my oldest sister, I don't give a damn how I sound when you telling me how I look. Please don't ever stop telling me the truth. Because the truth has a way of dealing with you when you're by yourself. It's nobody but you and the truth. It has a way of dealing with you. And you know when you've gone too far or when you're out of character. Now, you know that when you do something that you know you've done that. But you can't say how everybody is going to receive you. So you can't know that about everybody and everything. But you know when you believe in your heart of hearts that you've gone too far or you've said the wrong thing. Don't nobody have to tell you that shit. It's just like Judge Judy said. If it doesn't make sense, it isn't true. And that's just the real deal of it. Let me get to the facts here. This is what she shared with me, what has happened in her son's case. And all you guys have to do is listen for yourselves. What you take from it is up to you. My chair is nice, but being a big girl, I keep sliding to the front. So y'all see me moving and pulling and shit. I done look for chairs that's supposed to hold my weight, and I know I ain't as big as these damn people say, because this chair is supposed to hold my weight comfortably, but it's not. But I got to live with what it is, and that's what it is. So when y'all see me hopping and bobbing, I'm just trying to get comfortable. And the beauty is I done seen skinny folks do it, so shit, I don't feel bad. But I'm going to tell y'all the details as was told to me by Miss Proctor. And again, if you all don't mind, I'm just going to put my avatar up here because I might stumble over a word or two, and I don't want to look as crazy as I'm about to sound. But I'm going to try to sound with sound reasoning. So everybody, pay attention. Here I go. Details about CJ Proctor's case as told by Miss Ann Proctor. Number 1. And y'all, I know I'm going to get these names messed up, so please bear with me, but I'm going to get them messed up. Salute these nuts. Yes, you did, and I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad that you made it. Okay. Number 1, former Captain Marissa Tyndale. Marissa interviewed Heath Smith and Gregory Ruffner, jailhouse snitches. Info documented by her was concealed for 17 months. 12 of the 17 months, she was chief investigator for former DA Jackie Johnson. Marissa has since been forced to retire due to situations with the GCPD. And the GCPD is the Glynn County Police Department. Now, in case anybody don't know who Jackie Johnson is, Jackie Johnson is the lady that was the DA when Ahmaud Arbery, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, and it could be Arbery, I don't know, I always get it messed up, but I want to pay respect to their name. But Ahmaud, when he was killed in Georgia, down in Brunswick, just for running. And she worked with one of the guy whose son did the shooting. He used to work for Jackie Johnson as an investigator in her office. And so they thought they had gotten away with it. But his mother, as Miss Proctor, was very persistent, his mom and his dad, as Miss Proctor and CJ's dad, and they're doing everything they can to get the word out because nobody was listening. This has never been on a public forum such as Vlad TV or such as TMZ or such as MSNBC or CNN or any of those places. It's been hidden right there in Glynn County. But they ended up getting a special prosecutor, and trust me, those men were prosecuted and are now in prison on both state and federal charges as a hate crime as well as the actual murder. itself. So that's who Jackie Johnson is, okay? Number 2, Stephanie Oliver. Stephanie is a critical witness for the state. She downloaded info from cell phones and conducted witness interviews. She has been embroiled in several scandals involving GCPD. A suit against her related to Sasser murders was filed. Sasser murders is another family, the Sassers. In the young man who interviewed Ms. Proctor, and we, came upon it, Uncle Suge brought it to us. He had pictures of the different young Asiatic men and women that were murdered, and their problems are all like this pretty much. It's different situations, but it's pretty much like this situation. Okay. Number 3, Molly Cruikshank. Molly was the chief prosecutor and lead investigator in CJ's murder case. She left the employ of the GCPD and wants nothing to do with this murder case. Higgins has asked her for help, and she denied. She currently works in Savannah. She is critical witness for state. She directed entire investigation. Her decisions and the reasons for same are the subject to cross-examination. And that's Molly Cruikshank. And you spell that Cruikshank. So somebody who's a great enunciator might pronounce that a little bit different than I just did. But I did the best I could. Number 4, Jeff Williams. A critical witness for a state as he helped steer the entire investigation. His decisions and the reason for same are the cross-examination, including his decision to bury the info about witness Breonna Palmer. Okay. Number 5, investigator Guy Butler, a.k.a. Brad Butler. One of main investigators. He interviewed many witnesses and conducted many investigations. A critical witness to state as he helped steer and direct the entire investigation, and his decisions and the reasons for same are subject to cross-examination. Ms. Proctor just made a statement and said, "Gotta come back to watch this. 4 of my stitches came out, so a trip to the hospital it is." Oh, I'm so sorry you have to go through this, Ms. Proctor. But yes, go on to the hospital. It'll be here. Hopefully, it'll be here. Again, I thank you too. She said, again, I thank you and everyone here so much. I will never give up. And we will do everything we can to help you. One thing that I say, and this is a famous quote by Edmund, I forgot his last name, but he said, the only way that evil triumph is good men do nothing. And we all consider ourselves good men and women. And we are men and women. And that's how you should refer to yourself, as a man or as a woman. Not necessarily a people or a person, because in law, that means something totally different. So you should always acknowledge yourself as being a man or a woman. I am that I am. So always use the great I am. Because it is written, I am whatever you need me to be. And you have to know that about yourself. You are whatever you need to be. A lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, a receptionist, a secretary, a street sweeper, a bed maker, a toilet cleaner, a cook, a mother, an aunt, a cousin, a friend, a father, a dad, a big brother, whatever you need, you have it inside of you. Your Creator gave it to you when she gave you life. Spirit. Learn the true definition of spirit in its original origin. It means breath. To be spiritual means you're breathing. You can add anything onto that you want, but trust me, it was added on. We go back to the etymon, the origin of a word. And there's a free etymology dictionary that's online. Etymoline. It's free. You can download it on your phone, on your computer. We've got to start learning truth and quit trying to philosophize and be so scientific that we take ourselves out of the human realm. We're but human beings, and there may be other beings present. That's open for debates. I say all things are possible, so I don't know. But I'm just telling you, let me go back to what has happened in this case. Number 6, former Captain Tom Jump. He was captain over Criminal Investigative Division, CID. All investigators were supervised by him directly. He was actively involved in granting immunity to Tiffany Brown. He has been embroiled in several scandals involving GCPD, including the Ahmaud Mayberry murder, Sassa murder, Jones case, Whittle case, GBNET, and many others. A critical witness for state, he directed investigative supervisor Molly Cruikshank. He supervised all detectives and police officers, directed the collection of evidence, directed to take witness statements, and was generally involved throughout. He has left the employ of the GCPD. Number 7, Officer Mulcahy, one of the first officers on the scene of the murder. His body cam video is critical evidence. He is no longer employed with GCPD. No one at the police department knows where he is or where he moved to. He conducted interviews with the hunters that found CJ's body, responded to the scene, took evidence, controlled the evidence log, and observed the crime scene. His testimony and evidence are critical. Witness issues generally. Numerous of witnesses in the case whose contact info has not been provided by state to defense. This info should have been recorded in Spillman at time of interview and documented in police files. All contact info, documentation, and identifying biological info inputted into Spillman or documented at the GCPD should be turned over in discovery. So they got none of this in discovery. Hi, Papa Will. I seen you come in. Salute. Glad to have you. Number 9, Resden Talbert. He is a critical witness for state. He collected evidence, took witness statements, and generally involved throughout. The 9 officers investigators I have named has Brady violation, Gigolo violations, Trombetta violations, and Youngblood violations. Some have only one violation, and some have all the violations. So she's letting you know that these officers are not those of integrity, and they have some issues, it appears, in their records. The people wanted to know. So I figured, what the hell? Put it out there for them. A second post with the rest of the missing evidence will be posted soon. All of this is in documents that come from the courthouse. Anyone can go pay to get this information. So she's letting you know this is nothing that she made up. Well, what up, Lou? Good to see you. I wonder, did you barbecue? I was just wondering because we didn't get no barbecue. Just in case you are, hit me up in the email because I want some. Salute. So she's letting you know that this information It's not what was put out in the newspaper, because no newspaper has covered this. Only the young man on YouTube, and now myself, well, Uncle Suge, who told us about it, and now myself. And she spoke with the young man. She spoke also with OD, the great, spoke with her on Messenger as well, because he did the song. And she was so happy with the song and so pleased. And that's how I got to talk to her after she talked with him. And he told her who I was and everything. And then I contacted her. So that's how we got to talking. She was just so happy that I did that song and that he did the video. She was very happy because she said no one outside of their little town has talked about this situation and this story. And it all happened, I believe, in 2018. And the young man got out of jail, I believe, January 2020, I believe it was. Okay, number one, black Nokia phone. While searching Akeem and Tiffany's home, a black Nokia cell phone was found. The phone was seized and removed from their home. Investigator Sheila Ramos returned to headquarters and began taking items of interest out of the trunk of her car to put in evidence locker. She said the cell phone was nowhere to be found. Police assumed they left it at the scene, but have no idea where it is located. The phone remains unaccounted for and could have contained vital evidence in the case. Number two, SCCY gun box. The police also located an SCCY gun box while searching Akeem and Tiffany's home. Police photographed the box, but not the serial number on the box. The gun box was taken into evidence when Akeem was allowed back in his home. The gun box was gone, 5/11/21. Police claimed it was never logged into evidence, and they did not take the gun box. Number three, CJ's toxicology blood and urine sample, spoliation, she wrote, and destruction by GBI. And that's the GBI that they said they contacted for the skinny gang. So we see this. Hopefully this is not how they do all of their work, but this is the people that I'm about to talk about now. A vial of urine and multiple vials of blood were taken by a forensics examiner and sent for lab testing, GBI toxicology, 5/13/21. The state turned over a document that defense never before seen. It was from an unknown data entry. Person states the blood and urine sat in a warm and putrid state for 2 days before discovered. 6 tubes of blood and 1 tube of urine were all spoiled and destroyed. No testing was done, and no other info was ever given concerning this. Allegedly by witness and backed up in messages between Akeem and Tiffany that CJ and Tiffany did have a sexual and pill relationship. Although the pill behavior between CJ and Tiffany are relevant to ascertain what happened in the case, the murder scene is an indicative a drug deal gone bad or a robbery. The destruction of the blood and urine has caused harm to Akeem's case. I knew from day one that drugs was going to be thrown in CJ's murder at some point. But a certain category of people are all drug deals gone bad, or an addiction no matter what, right? I know CJ was far from perfect. Hell, we all are. Damn, did y'all have to throw a drug deal gone bad in this? He is not here so he can defend himself. So stop. And remember, this is Miss Ann Proctor talking. Salute, FRW. Glad you're here. Okay. Let's go on down. I'm almost finished. So, she says, why keep it a secret? Hell, y'all put everyone else's business on blast. So I figured, why not y'all too? Missing evidence part 2. Oh, well, I hope that you're feeling well. I know that you're healed, so you just know that too, and just say, I'm healed and I am well, and do what you're doing, and you'll be all right. Then send me an email, and you need to take you some quercetin. It's called elderberry, and some zinc. You need to start taking that for your system to build you up once you get well. Okay, number 4. Ballistics evidence reports and analysis. 3 bullets were surgically removed from CJ, and a piece of core fragments found in CJ's shirt. All was sent by forensic examiner for examination by the GBI per discovery surge 5/17/21. The location of the core fragment and 3 bullets is unknown. So they don't know where the bullets are and the fragments, since they sent them to the GBI. DNA profile, number 5, DNA profile info of unknown suspect. CJ was found sitting in the driver's seat with 4 wide open. So I don't know if that's 4 windows or 4 doors, but it's 4 wide open. His pants and boots had been pulled off and thrown into the street. His wallet and cell phone missing. A bank withdrawal envelope was sitting empty near CJ. Akeem or Tiffany's DNA was not on the door handle or his car. State apparently has no interest in DNA to be run through CODIS or the data at the GBI, as that may jeopardize their case against Akeem. Number 6, video surveillance. Sergeant Resden Talbot identified surveillance camera on the front porch of C. St. Mary's house and notified Molly Cruikshank. She failed to get a search warrant or seize same. This evidence was critical in the investigation of a known suspect in murder. And we're down to number 7. Haley Gilliard's phone. A mutual friend of Tiffany and Akeem's was identified. Investigators took her phone into evidence, same relevant to the case. Police returned the phone and didn't obtain all data, and the info and data from her phone can't be verified. Autopsy report says the clothing was submitted as evidence. A black t-shirt, a black tank top, black athletic shorts, a pair of gray socks, and camouflage visor. Postmortem fingerprints pulled scalp hair and recovered projectile. 4 boxes are submitted into evidence. Now, what the fuck is all this stuff at? Where the fuck is all this stuff at? It all just magically disappeared. I swear, the justice system is some shady ass people. How can they live with themselves? Something just ain't right. And it has me thinking, what the fuck is really going on here? And that is what Miss Ann Proctor provided to me, that information. So it's good. Lou said, I am healed and well. I'm on it. Okay. Great, Lou. Great, great, great. So that's the story that I'm interested in. And I'm interested in only one thing, and that is justice for CJ, whatever justice is. Whoever the people are, whatever the situation may be, that's what I'm interested in. Now, I did not put the famous brother's name anywhere in this because it is not about the famous brother. It is about the brother that stand accused, and he is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But what we can do as individuals all over the world, like I said, I have in my description, if you would go and look down at the bottom, I have the name and address to the DA and to the sheriff's department. And you can look up the governor, because I don't know who the governor is, if you want to write the governor, and certainly the legislature. And that's how change began. Again, if you remember, if you've seen the video, and I'll show it again before I close out, Ms. Proctor is a European. And normally we always say if it happened to them, then this wouldn't be happening. Well, unfortunately for her, her son is considered Asiatic, which most people would call a black man. And as I keep telling everybody, please look up Civiliter Mortuus in the Black's Law Dictionary. If you haven't gotten yours, like I told you, you can always send me an email, request a copy of Silent Weapons and the Black's Law Dictionary. And I've also included the Secret Treaty of Verona, so you can understand how all of this tie in. But like I stated before, we really need to start working on ourselves. See, one thing you can't really do for anyone else unless you do for yourself. If you're not confident in who you are, if you don't know who you are, and we don't know who we are, if you don't know that, then you're forever searching and you're forever running and taking everything somebody say as a hell of a word or a hell of a story or something that I can relate to. But in all honesty, you're running from yourself and you're relating to somebody else's craziness. It doesn't take rocket science for us to really see what's going on. We all came on YouTube to laugh and have fun, to learn some shit, because you can get anything you want to know on YouTube. So for the people to say that they're not about the serious shit, that's good for you, but it's serious shit on here. You can build a motor. You can build a home. You can do whatever you like, as T.I. would say, on YouTube. If you have the patience and the wherewithal to put that shit together. Me, I can't do that. I can't even follow damn instructions if they're written. I get so confused and discombobulated. Some people's mind work different. So you ought to know who you are. You ought to know your strengths and know your weaknesses. So when you come across charismatic talking people, and I just messed up that damn word, and I've been messing up words real good lately. But, it's, charismatic is charisma. Most pastors possess charisma. And it's not necessarily the words that are being spoken. Again, it goes back to the vibration. It goes back to the energy. It's according to where you are, and it resonates with you. Overthoughts, salute. The stone the builders refuse. Salute. Stone, I love you. Boy, you are so funny and a great narrator in them games. It is so funny. I don't even like games. I don't play games and I don't watch games. And I go in there and pay salutes to Stone, and I'm end up in there an hour or two just because he's so damn funny. And he plays so many different characters. He keeps it very interesting. So it is so much entertainment on this YouTube. It is. But when you realize the definition of entertainment is to keep you occupied and to distract you and keep your attention on something, it's a whole lot of stuff happening to us as a people. We're actually starving. And it's a sin and a shame that Farmer Nancy doesn't have 1,000 subscribers by now. Farmer Nancy has an urban farm in the heart of Austin, Texas, which is the capital of Texas. And she feeds many children. Yes, Papa Will. I'm telling you, it is really sad that she doesn't have 1,000 subscribers. But people choose to go where they want to go. And that's why we all try to get on different people platforms so we can be seen by other people, and hopefully our message will resonate with someone, and then they would want to come and pay us some attention. If we say something that moves them, hopefully they'll want to give us a cash app or two. None of this is anything anybody has to do. But we are striving to be entrepreneurs, and we need the support as well. But Farmer Nancy, like myself, whether she gets the support or not, she's still growing them vegetables and feeding those children. And I met another farmer here in the Dallas area. They have a big farm, and I'm going to interview she and her husband when they're available. And it is amazing. And they all are telling us we need to learn how to grow something. We need to learn how to grow. A-Ra on his channel tell us we need to learn how to grow something. Just start growing. Because in a minute, y'all, we're not going to have food. And it's not because it's a shortage. It's because it's a system in place to starve you. And whether you like it or not, the system is in operation. A lot of people say, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. No, it's in operation. It's not a theory. Conspiracy is an act of law. Matter of fact, a violation of law. And it's real. And a lot of us is going to wait until it happened to us before we get concerned. But I tell you, if we could start building and helping one another before it happens to you, that's how we prevent it from happening to you, because we get ahead of the problem. We got to get ahead of the problem. Anybody have any questions or anything they want me to address? And that is true. It is that simple. For some people. But for some people, it's not that simple. Because some people, because they choose to go somewhere, they get attacked. So it should be that simple for all people. But Regina M., it's not. It should be. But it's not. Send me an email, Papa Will. And send me an email. Thank you for dropping that. Because I still don't know how to do the links to this day. Okay, you did? Did I respond? Okay. Yeah, because I respond to all my emails. It was one person I hadn't responded to. I didn't know it, but I did last night. Let me see. Sim said, question. How does one refer Miss Ann to ones who can maybe help her? Okay, she has a Facebook page. And you can go to Facebook, and it's called Justice for CJ. And then you can join. And the way I contacted her was through Messenger. That's when she contacted me back after I, joined. And she will contact you back, Sim said. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you for being willing. I don't know, Wilma, if she has a GoFundMe or not. I can ask her, and I can get that information. I don't know, because she's never, ever said anything about finances, and neither have I, so I don't know. But I can find out most definitely. I'm sure she will probably send me a message tonight when she comes back from the hospital to let me know that she's okay or whatever. But she had told me that she had surgery, and she could only use one hand, really. And so that's why, we were not doing an interview or anything. So she sent me some information. And that's why she was not on the camera. But she's very happy that anybody she's happy for anybody that will tell the story. And I say just tell the story fairly. And the only fairly we can do is tell the information. We don't have to go on and on and on about anything else but what's important to Miss Ann. And that is the justice for her baby. I don't have to destroy anybody or make any innuendos or anything like that, imply anything. And if it appears that way, then please forgive me, because that's not what I do. I'm just reporting the news as I get it. And that's how I got it. But I do have, like I said, information and videos in my description that you can look at for yourselves. And, you draw your own conclusions or whatever you come up with. And anything that you can do to assist and you're willing to do, then I say do it. But if you go to Facebook, she has a Facebook page. And it's Justice for CJ, Miss Ann Proctor. And that's all I know. Thank you, my beautiful niece, Soabi. You prejudice, right? Towards me, I'm talking. And people don't know what that means. That just means she favors me. That does not mean, she prejudiced against black. She don't like black. No. We got to learn definition of words. That means she favors me. So, thank you, my beautiful niece. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see. You said something is there. Let's see, follow. Oh, okay. Oh, look at Lou. Lou put it in there to follow her on Facebook, y'all. He just dropped the link. Everybody, please hit the like button for me. Hit the like button for me, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. I told everybody about Cookie, and one day I'm going to interview her. She's just trying to get her calendar, because I would like for us to at least hear from her, the expert, about the tarot and the different meanings and things. When we hear stuff like that, we think it's dark magic, but it's not. It's our history. You believe again what you want, but when you become an adult, you have to start knowing stuff. You can't just live in belief. Belief is for children. And you can say the word I believe, or whatever, but you got to know some shit at some point in your life as an adult. And that's what keeps us in a childlike state, because they already treat us, because we're civilly dead in the eyes of the law. So they already treat us like children. And then we help them by not wanting to know the truth. And that's the biggest thing that's wrong with us as a people. We don't want to know the truth. Yeah, you are. You are very objective. You're very fair. And I've seen you in action. And I know that to be true. And all I ask for anybody, fairness. Sometimes fairness doesn't feel good. But if it's fair, then it is what it is. And there's nothing you can do about it. Let me see. Something that's pissing people off. So that's fine. Everything I watched today has kept me pissed off on. So what you say, a toolbox, you say you missed something that's pissing people off? Tell me what you're talking about, toolbox. You said everything you watched today done pissed you off. You're so very right. That's so very true. Toolbox say wisdom is worth whatever it costs. People should get on out there, be adventurous. That's so very true. That's what we have to do. And Papa Will said, who is Ann Proctor's friend here in the chat? I don't know anybody in the chat that knows Miss Proctor. So I don't know. Oh, you stepped out. I'm so sorry. Well, I have this information in a document. So if you want to, I put it in a Word document. If you want to send me an email, I could just send you the Word document that I put it in. She sent it to me through Messenger, but I put it in Word so that I could try to see it and read it. You said, did I read your last message? On here? No, let me find it, Tracy. I'm sorry I didn't see it. Let me find it. One time I was on here and I had the cigarette. Somebody told me, light your cigarette. That was funny. Well, Tracy, it must have been way up there. I missed it because I don't see it. Okay, the last one I see is at Ann Proctor, stay strong and never give up. That's the last, that was the one I seen since the one you just asked me to question. And I see Justice for CJ. Hashtag. I see those. Let me come back down. Okay, let me see. I see where Lou put that in there. Yeah, y'all know that my email is going across the bottom, and that is toothlesstiger7@gmail.com. And if you send me an email, I can send you this document that I, typed up. It's just a Word document that I typed up that I took off a messenger she had sent to me. But I know that, if we really understood the power of the matriarchy, and one day I'm going to do one on that, so we can really understand what really it's all about. And that's why they subjugate us as women so that they can have our boys. Because they know that if they have us, we'll turn our children over. And they did that by way of the church. Because the majority of the people, the majority, not all, but the majority of the people that belong to the churches are women. And they're vulnerable. And they're subjected to what? One man, the pastor. Even if she has a husband, she'll listen to the pastor before she listens to her husband, because he said he's coming directly from God. See, I'm glad she's covering it. Oh, okay. Toolbox says she's glad that I'm covering this story because they wasn't slick. They caused the death. That's true. Yeah, from what everything she gave, testimony and stuff, but what ended up happening was because of all of the disappearances and stuff, and then the law, which is Title 24 in Georgia. It's 24. It's called Georgia Code 24, Chapter 5, 503, paren A, that says a spouse doesn't have to testify against its spouse. Now, they do have some circumstances in which they can testify, but I don't believe none of them apply in this case. It's like if his children involved under 18, if they were not married before this happened and they got married after, then those kind of things. Okay. No, I have not. I probably have seen something to that effect then tick when I first started learning on my journey, because I used to look at a lot of people, and I believe it or not, that's the only section of YouTube I used to look at. I used to look at the conscious community, and I used to like Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Joy DeGruy, Neely Fuller was mentee of Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. They say that he's a doctor, but he worked at the Mint. He worked for the government. He wasn't a doctor, but he wrote a lot of books. He has some cartoons now on YouTube. He's real good. He wrote it's called Compulsory Something book that he tell you if, 9 areas of your life is being controlled, then if you don't understand white supremacy and all that it entails, then, you don't know anything. But it's really hegemony is what it is. Hegemony, hegemony. And that's one group of people dominating another group of people. Basically, it's about class, but they use race so that they could control the masses, because they had to have a way to control the masses. And how do you control, if you're just 3, let's just say if you're just 300 people, how do you control 3 billion? You divide and conquer. And that's what happened. Okay, you just typed it again. I see I just typed it again, so maybe I haven't. So is it not coming through? Now, I'm going to tell you, if it has anything to do, let me see. You say, I'll try it again. It could be in my text that I don't receive, because if it has anything to do with Kwame Brown name, I can't see it. I block that because I don't really talk about Kwame Brown, although he drops my name and stuff and try to keep me involved in shit. And I don't do that because I didn't get on here for that. I was just, blessed to get on his platform, and I thanked him. A lot of people say that I'm angry and I hate him. I don't any of that. I don't like the behavior that I see from him. But if it has anything to do with KB, Kwame Brown, Kwame Ice, anything like that, then it's not going to show up because I blocked them. I don't want any of that. In my chat, we kind of talk about what I want to talk about, and that's really the uplifting of our people, because that's what I'm about. I'm about building up and uplifting and coming together and teaching yourself. While we sitting up waiting on the Lord, you might need to understand what that means. Nothing wrong with whatever you've been taught. I was taught the same good Christian values, so it's nothing wrong with the values. They just teach you to be in a subservient state of mind. And it teaches you that we're the only one with the deity that looks like somebody else. Every other race of people, when they go to bow to whatever they bow to, it looks and reflects them, not ours. And we are the givers of life. The woman that gave life to all human beings look like me. She does. And the people that became Caucasian or whatever they are, they came from the Albion, and you've heard of albino. It's something that happened in the making of the body. I have nothing to do with that. But all life form comes from a woman that looks like me. So all I can do is, I don't know it all. I don't pretend to know it all. I don't know all the groups. I ain't against none of the groups. I'm just not in no group. I am that I am. And once I learned from Taj Tariq Bey, is where most of all of my knowledge come from. He give you keys, then you do the research. And once you do that, because the diaspora story is not a true story. We were not brought here on no slave ship. We were already here. The land is Morocco. America is the land. There's no such thing as United States country. United States country. Each state is its own country. Every state is a country of itself. And you can go and learn that in the Constitution when it talks to you in Article 3 about diversity of citizenship. See, a lot of us don't even know about the Constitution and how it works with the Constitution of man. It has 7 articles. 7 articles and 10 amendments that they recognize. Those are the ones that they recognize. The government was overthrown in 1861. It's called Sine Die. End of day. Sine Die, Sinedie. End of day. That's what they call it. Anytime that you have a meeting, and I know you done been in a place, I don't know this, but I believe most of us as adults have been in meetings on a job or in an organization. They all go by Robert's Rule of Order. Robert's Rules of Order comes from where? England. Why are everything about our laws dealing with England? Since so much they didn't teach us, and they taught us to be comfortable just where we are, not knowing anything. Okay, let me see. I get it. She's waiting for surgery, and Toothless Tiger Chat has been posted to her Facebook page. No. Yeah, she had surgery. So her stitches came apart. Yeah, I understand that. But, I understand the Bible too. They took out cosmology so you could, say what you say. And that's fine. They took out the meta-netter. This world is based in cosmology. We got to learn the whole truth. And I don't debate. I only debate my equals. Everybody else I teach. So that means I don't debate. My daddy taught me that disagreeing is arguing. And I don't agree to disagree with nobody. I tell you what I say, you believe it or you don't believe it. You look it up, you find something different, tell me about it. If it make more sense than what I said, then shit, I'm going to go with you. Because I'm with Judge Judy. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. And it's a whole lot of shit they tell us don't make sense. And that's just what I have to go with. Now, when I learned that law begins and ends with you, and it's what you say, and if you don't harm nobody, and don't nobody harm you, then all that other shit don't make no difference to me. I'm just telling you about me. And so some people think I'm rude. Some people don't think I know how to talk to people. But I'm very, very, very mindful of people because I don't have too many people that accept me for being me. So if I find somebody who accept me or act like they accept me, I'm so goddamn happy. Y'all don't even understand. And that's just the truth of the matter. And I'm learning to do more because the Bible was written by so many people and they keep telling us that, it's just a lot of us don't even know Genesis stands for genetics. They tell us shit in metaphors and allegories, and Paul tell you that's what he's doing. Salute. Let me put a blessing on this. So I'm not telling nobody don't believe what the Bible say. Believe what you want to believe. But at some point, you got to know some shit. The Bible says a whole lot of shit that don't make sense. And it's the same way they do with our history. When it comes to us, it's a mystery. But when it comes to them, they telling us some shit that they said, but they didn't say that. They got it from us and they took credit for it. Just like they do, I said today, on your job. You better not go to work and come up with no goddamn idea talking about you finna tell everybody and they're going to pat you on your back. 9 times out of 10, you know what's going to happen? You're going to lose your goddamn job and they're going to have you sign a non-disclosure. Not only is it a published book, but you got to even know what the word stands for. See, the Bible, the holy means son. Bible is a bibliothèque. It means writings. So that's son writings. The Holy Quran. Holy means son. Quran means reader. So it's the holy reader. So once we start understanding the sun reader, everything is predicated on the sun, the S-U-N, son. If you learn that vowels are interchangeable, and see, I get real passionate about this shit, so then I'm going to really start sounding like I'm fussing, but I'm really just so goddamn excited somebody listening to me, I'm going to tell you, because most people, when I start talking like this, they hang up on me on the phone. They'll say, well, girl, let me go do this. Well, girl, let me call you back. Well, girl, so most people don't want to hear shit I have to say. That's why I say I get on here and talk to my goddamn self if I had to. But, that's what I would do because I know so much today. And it's so liberating. You talking about being liberated. See, emancipation doesn't mean liberation. We chose education. And then we got all kind of books to tell us about the miseducation of the Negro. But I promise you, if you learn all vowels are interchangeable, and it's the Son of God that walks across the sky in 12 steps. It's the sun that goes down 3 days before the 25th to its lowest point till they call it dead. And it sit in the grave. And on the 25th, it rises with life, all power in the sky. See, we've been told anthropomorphic stories, and those are animated stories for children. And they keep us in the children's stage. And we keep wanting to be in the children's stage. So they know when they talk to you, when you start talking the Bible, they already know you don't know. And they finna fuck over you 9,000. I don't care what you think you know. It's real simple. Michael Jackson sung it. ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Simple as do, re, mi. ABC. But they got us thinking it takes all of this knowledge, and knowledge is good. But if knowledge is that great, why come all of us get degrees and all we got is a goddamn student loan, and they all got CEO status and they didn't even go to college? We got to start looking at this shit for what it is and quit talking about what the Bible said. The Bible said some good shit when it said some good shit, but there's a lot of shit written just for you and me. And that's where we get stuck. And then they tell us they took away the woman from the Trinity. I mean, we just got to start asking ourselves questions. You don't have to believe what I say. And I hope I don't piss nobody off, but if you get pissed off, I can't do nothing about it because I'm not going to stop telling the truth to make you feel good or to live a lie or to hope for all your life. You know, if you pray for some shit and you be praying and you know what people tell you, you're not praying hard enough. Your faith ain't, and you know you praying hard as you can pray. And you know your faith is as strong as they say faith is supposed to be. But every damn thing you pray for don't never happen for you. Something wrong with that picture. You know, the law of averages gonna say sometimes shit gonna work your way. It don't have nothing to do with you. He made an agreement with them to give one of his brothers a lesser time and drop the charges. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's why I wasn't coming through. Well, yeah, she can use this, maybe. And you know this to be true. But I'll damn sure let her know. I'm going to do you like I do other people, how they do me. Everybody screenshot that shit. That's what I'm going to do. I'll send it to her. Now, you got to know, is that time frame the same time frame when all of this happened? Because some people just tell a good story, but it doesn't make it be true. Just because you tell a good story. And I say that for anybody. Like I said, my goal ain't to destroy nobody, but truth has to be told. I have a nephew who's incarcerated on pending murder charges. I believe he's innocent, but I don't know that to be true. So I don't know. But I was the one who he trusted to come turn himself in, because that's what I do. I was the one he called. And my son and I did the right thing that we know to do to help save his life to the best of our ability. So I don't know what the outcome will be, but I did what I knew what was right to do, and he trusted me to do it, so he called me. You know, I've been called upon to do some hell of a stuff in my life, and I don't even know how the hell I got to be the one chosen. And you know, when I went off on disability, you know, I was talking with the psychiatrist and I was telling them my story. And, you know, normally when I'm talking to my relatives or something, it doesn't bother me. But when I talk to the psychiatrist or to the doctors, and really as I'm about to share this with y'all, I just seem like I had to cry a river of tears because one of my older sisters is deceased and she got sick and she had ulcer. But while she was in the hospital, they had to give her so much medicine, her sugar stayed up. So she ended up with diabetes. And she had never had diabetes before. And my sister asked me to be her medical power of attorney. And she told me what she wanted and what she did not want. And of course, you don't ever think you have to make that decision for anybody. I'm going to say fortunately for me. Sometimes I feel it's unfortunate because of, to me, the way I feel people look at me or think of me. But I'm really one of them people, when I tell you what you think of me is none of my business. I don't give a fuck, for real though. And if I say something back, that's because I just want to talk shit. but it ain't got nothing to do with you, the individual. It's all about me. But she made me her medical power of attorney. And both of her children were adults, but they were young adults. They were not old adults. They were young adults. And I used to go and stay with my sister in the hospital, and I went so often and stayed so long that she started ordering 2 trays, and I would get to eat dinner with her, and sometimes I would be there for lunch and dinner, and they would bring me a tray, just like her, and I'd sit up there, and after we get through eating, we'd go to sleep. And she only went in there for a hernia, and she came home, and she was doing okay. And she didn't tell us that she wasn't getting her medicine. We didn't know that. And that was really, really sad. My sister would, well, back then I was still cooking. So I would cook for her. My sister would take it to her for her to eat. But we didn't know that she wasn't eating. And she didn't have her medicine. She did not tell us because we would have bought her medicine. But she didn't tell us. And she went into a diabetic coma. And they revived her and took her to the hospital and put her on life support. So now here I am faced with having to make a decision. And this happened in 2003. 2003. And the hospital, after about 3 days, they tell you that now you need to make a decision. The decision was either I could bring her home to respite care, which means that they would have, all the machines, her hooked up and stuff, and she would have 24-hour nurse and all that kind of stuff. You could bring her home to hospice care, which means you would bring her home without all of that stuff and let nature take its course. Or you could put her in a nursing home because after they took her off the machine, she lived. And so I made a decision to bring her home to hospice care. And that was December the 16th, 2003. And my brother, that's 2 years older than me, that I always talk about, we like twins. He's 2 years older than me. His birthday was December the 18th. And December the 18th at 11:45, she took her last breath. And I was there in the room. So I know that the death angel gets whoever the death angel come to get. You ain't got to worry about no goddamn death angel. Because we all was sitting right there in the room. But the death angel took who he came to get. Or she, whichever one it is. I don't know if it's even got a sex. Since now they don't want us to have one. I don't know. But all I can tell you is she's not with us anymore. And I told the nurse, she took that 11:45 flight up out of here. And the nurse told me, no, she's still with us. I'm telling her, no, ma'am, she's not. We were just putting on her new mattress. It's an air mattress for her to lay on so it would help so that she wouldn't get bed sores. And at the time, my nephew, one of his baby mothers, was our home health care person because we didn't know nothing about that and we didn't have time to get one. That's just what she did for a living, and she was willing to be there for his mother, and she was definitely there for her. And I salute her for that. She did a beautiful job. Even though it was from the 16th to the 18th, she did a beautiful job. But when my sister died, and as the years go by, nobody has ever said this to me, but I just feel sometimes that people look at me or they think you killed my sister or you killed my mother or you killed my granny or you killed my auntie or my cousin. No one has ever said that to me. You killed my friend. Nobody. But that's an innate feeling you feel as a human being when you have to make a life or death decision for someone else. I know what that feels like. Came around approximately 3 years ago, I had to make that same decision for my uncle I was his power of attorney, and he was not eating. The difference between my uncle and my sister, she was in her 50s, and of course my uncle was in his 80s. And I refused to allow them to put a feeding tube and a breathing machine on an 82-year-old man who was very quiet, worked his life, drank a lot, but didn't bother nobody. He would sit and watch TV and you never even know he was there unless he wanted you to hand him some water or a plate. So I refused for him to go out with all of this trying to fight for his life. He had lived a beautiful life. And if he was going to live, then whoever gives life was going to allow him to live. And if he was not going to live, then whoever takes it away were going to be the ones that did it. But it wouldn't be any apparatuses or anything. So I've had the feeling, and I call it, I said I was going to write a book, Power of Attorney, because that's some power to hold. I don't take it lightly. I did not misuse my power. And when you exercise the power that the person trusts you to exercise, you don't even know how to feel. You don't know how to feel when it's happening, and you don't know how to feel afterwards. Because like I said, nobody has ever said those words to me. But sometimes some of the little silly arguments that I have with people that to me just comes out of no fucking word, and I just can't even fathom, where did this come from? It all goes in my mind. I'm a thinker, a deep thinker at that. Not always right, and I can tell a hell of a damn story that sounds good as hell. But you would think that shit is true as hell. But I can get it wrong sometimes. But I live my life being honest, I think, and I share. And I require the same of others. I'm not as hard on others as I am on myself, because I know we all fall short and we have our own shortcomings. I don't judge people, but I damn sure talk about them. And my brother once asked, what's the difference? And Anonymous Wish was in here, and she gave a beautiful answer. Very analytical. So I can't give that answer again. But I can give the one that I gave. I don't talk to tear you down, to condemn you. If I talk about you, I'm talking about you to laugh at your ass, to tell something you really did, or wondering what the hell was wrong with you at that time. So I say good, bad, or indifferent. Because everything I say about people ain't bad. Everything I say about people ain't good. It's not. And I know people do the same, so we're all even. And if you don't do any of that, good for you. Kudos. But I'm just human. And I do human shit. And it is also written in that same Bible that there is nothing that overcomes you that's not common to man. We all have human issues because we're human beings. All of us that are human. But I just happen to believe some of us walking this earth are not human. I used to couldn't even imagine believing that. Not the way we've been taught. But when you become adult and you start thinking for yourself, then anything is possible. And you can imagine whatever. It is your choice. Too many times we have somebody else's definition of who we are and what it is, and we will fight to the death for what somebody else say we are. But Jesus asked the disciples, they said a question, and he said, who do they say I am? And then they told him who I am. He said, but who do you say I am? So I ask you, who do you say you are? Because I am who I say I am. Not what nobody's opinion of me is. That's your thoughts. And you're entitled. But I am who I say I am. And if I stay true to me, I'm going to be true to you. I guarantee that. Sometimes I may not even be true to me. Sometimes I have to tell myself shit just to make it through the day. Sometimes I don't even have the strength to make it through the day. And people look at you and they think, oh, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. You have to know your limitations. My daddy taught me that. And if you know your limitations, you don't let nobody tell you what you can do. You do what you can do. And you tell you. You got to be your own cheerleader. Okay. One moment, y'all. Okay, that was my beautiful son. He said he didn't get his notification, so he was just calling to talk to me. He thought I wasn't on tonight. So that happens to all of us. That's called technology. That's what that is. And if it's anything other than that, we seek what we want. That's one thing I learned about people. You can never pocket watch nobody because people spend their money on what they want to spend it on. And nothing is too expensive if it's something that they want. Salute my nephew, BMK21. So glad you're here. It's so good to see you, Clean Black Sneaks, and Lou. We back together again because that's how I met everybody. It feels so good, I tell you. I don't know if you got to see the show when my son was on here and we talked about Philadelphia and his visit there and my visit there and the Hoagies. But I tell you, you all really don't really understand how important it is to be who you are and not who someone wants you to be or try to make you feel like you need to be. The common law only requires if you don't harm nobody and don't allow anybody to harm you, no harm is done. All of these statutes and codes and all of that was written for us. And I would ask anybody to go and look up the Christian Black codes. Go and look up the Christian Black codes and then look at the laws in your city and in your state. A lot of us don't even know that the United States only covers a 10-mile radius, which is called Washington, D.C. We haven't a clue. A lot of us does, but we just don't know because we were not taught. A lot of us was taught astrology, astronomy, cosmology, cosmogony. We were taught that that's the devil worship. That's the devil's work. But this whole world politic is ran on our science. Astrology, cosmology, cosmogony, and astronomy. I tell you, it's so much we don't know. And I don't know it all. But again, I look at Taj Tariq Bey. And you can find him on the House of Reawakening Minds with Dr. G. And all you got to do is listen and then go back and do some research. Because Taj is just going to give you keys. And there's this new guy that's on Rod Hayes. And boy, if you listen to Rod, you sure will think that there's some crazy shit going on. But I've heard crazier shit because they took the mother out of the Trinity and gave us a ghost. And we are running around saying Holy Ghost when life comes from a woman. So if they can do that, and then they write in the book, that's the only sin you can't be forgiven for if you blaspheme against the Holy Ghost. But you just took away your mother, the giver of life. There's not a man in the Bible and nowhere else that had a baby that didn't involve a woman. Except after the Holy Ghost. The Trinity became that. But we have to understand the Trinity is a mother, a father, and a child. A lot of people didn't believe me when I said there was a time that women could produce children without a man. And I told people to go look at Dr. Delbert Blair. He's just one of the physicists that speaks of that phenomenon. I don't know nothing about it, so I can't speak to it. I can just tell you it's there. It is so many things that are written for us to know, but we would rather take the word of somebody else or be led by somebody else instead of leading ourselves. But I promise you, it's scary. It calls for responsibility. It calls for accountability. But if you do it, I promise you, you will feel free. I do have merchandise that I never really talk about, but I really should, because I have t-shirts. I have different t-shirts. I have this one, like I showed y'all, Healing the Womb Man Inside. And I say womb man because a woman is a man with the womb. A man is a woman with testicles that, come up. This gender questioning stuff is nothing new. It's something they've been playing with all along. But gender and sexuality are two different things. Totally two different things. One day I'll talk about that. But I am womb man. A man with the womb. I am mankind. I am womb man. And I respect all of my sons. My sons. My sons. Mother and son. That's what's so important about the Black Madonna. It's the Asiatic woman. The Moabite woman. That's the ancient name. And there is a name that goes further back. But a nation can only rise as high as we view our women. And on that note, I'm going to play for you guys, if you don't mind, show you my little old clothes that I have, my merchandise. And I said my little old like it's little old, but it's not little old. It's really beautiful. I'm going to show my merchandise, and then I'll come back and I'll say goodbye. I want to thank everybody for every Cash App that I received. Thank you for all of the likes. Hopefully you will share this with somebody. Let you see my merchandise. Those are my Annie's babies. That's a journal. And that's a mask for those who like to wear masks still. And that's the Annie's Babies t-shirt. And I came up with Annie's Babies because a lot of our children had to have the help of their aunties, grandmoms. Because, they took away all of the jobs in the 70s and introduced crack cocaine in the 80s. And so a lot of those babies in the 90s and in the 20s had parents that were addicted to drugs. The fathers were in prison. Salute, Armando. Glad you're here. Thank you. So we have to understand, overstand, and understand what's really happening to us as a people. We're doing it to ourselves. That is my Fuck Them Teeth. That's my signature t-shirt. Toothless Tiger, Fuck Them Teeth. And that's black. My two favorite colors are pink and black. So you'll pretty much see everything with me with pink and black. Or I go white. That's the Fuck Them Teeth journal. Riding Dirty ordered one of those, and I was very happy and proud. That's the Stack Deck collection t-shirt. That's for the people that, want to claim racism. They always say that we're playing the race card. And I say, if we're playing the race card, then you're playing the other 53 stacked against me. So that's the Stack Deck collection. I have the Queen, the King, the Joker, the Ace, all of the face cards. That's just a regular t-shirt. We built this joint for free. We do t-shirts. This is the Stargate, which is what the womb is for the woman, the matrix. And it says Stargate, that's again the uterus, the fallopian tubes, and the birth canal. Gifted is the womb that carried you. And I have two new logos. You can see it with my little avatar there. Matt K, one of the greatest that ever did my logos. I have a new Toothless Tiger logo with the crown on it. I haven't made pictures of those. I have keychains, ink pens, candles. I have a variety of items. I would like support whenever you're able. I know that times are not bad for everybody, but all of us are suffering from something. So at your leisure and your pleasure, just know that I do have merchandise available. And I am happy that you guys, would be willing to consider purchasing. Continue to like and to share. And please go in and comment. The comments and stuff like that helps tremendously. It helps us get in the algorithm and to try to stay in the algorithm. I'm trying to get back to my song that OD, the Great, did for me. And for Miss Ann Proctor about, her son. I want to show that before I say goodbye to remind everybody that this is about CJ. It's not about me. It's not about the famous brother. It's about CJ and justice for CJ. My little old light is falling down on me and it's getting on my nerves. But we'll be all right. I got all kind of equipment. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I don't use it all. But I got all kind of cameras and ring lights and you name it. Toothless got it, but Toothless don't know what the hell she doing. So if y'all would just give me a moment and let me share this with you guys that's staying with me and it's not gone. I greatly appreciate y'all for being with me. Y'all don't know how much. And I honestly can't say it enough. But I want you all to see this is all about CJ. Go in my description and please, if you can, write. If you're not a writer, tell somebody you know, ask them to do it. Just share the word. I know that she will be forever grateful. And I want to show this song is on iTunes, Spotify. Andre the Great did this in my honor and in the honor of CJ, and I was so grateful. I could not believe it. And he shared it with me. So I'd like for you all, if you want to purchase it or stream it, please feel free to do so. We would be happy.
Through that, you find the only kind of respect that matters in this damn world. Self-respect.
There's been a lot going on YouTube in the last few days. And again, I normally don't talk about these individuals. And I certainly don't normally call them by name. But today I will. There are some dangerous things that's going on. Keep holding 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 on. Precious memories. How they linger. How they ever
Keep holding on, as the people are saying. Keep holding on, so I say. Keep holding on. I keep holding on. 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 Keep holding on.
You know when you be singing and you really can't sing, but you think you can sing your ass off? When I hear that keep holding on, I swear, boy, I think I sound good as hell. Now, I might sound like shit to somebody. But, boy, you know how you be singing to yourself and you really think you sing. Boy, you doing some hell of a singing. Well, I hope y'all see it that way, too. Hey, Trayvon 1. I just wanted to come back and say that and to remind y'all of Regina was laughing like hell. She rolling over. I know that's right, but girl, I thought I could sing my ass off. But it goes like that. And I want to say, let me see what Papa will say. Hit the replay and follow 2%. Okay, stay in touch. Thank you so much. Yeah, Papa Will, if you send me a thing, I'll get back with you. And, you know, you can holler at me when I get back with you. But I want to also remind everybody about Skinny. I love Mr. Skinny, and he's having SkinnyCon coming up in August 27th. And I really thought I was going to go, but I really know with myself, I'm probably not going to make it. But I want to promote it to everyone that might want to make it. Please. And I think I may give away a ticket to SkinnyCon. I think that's what I'll do. Sometime this month, I'll give away a ticket to SkinnyCon to somebody. So look forward to that. If you haven't bought your ticket, I'll do it real soon, probably next week, because tickets are selling out, and I don't want it to sell out. So I'm going to give away a ticket to SkinnyCon for anybody who might want to go and have the help to go. My mind tells me I want to do things, but I know, hell, my mind tells me I'm going to walk to the front porch and I don't never leave the bedroom. So I know I'm not going to make it to SkinnyCon, but I do want to promote that for Mr. Skinny because I think that's a beautiful idea. And I hope everybody go and have a good time. On that note, as my favorite saying is, I'm getting ready to leave the Tiger's Den, and I thank everybody for staying with me the whole time. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Let me put some respect on it.
This video was made for education and entertainment purposes only. There's no malice or ill intent from the content creator. So please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great evening. Good night.